Hey, V. Venus.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on my phone right now because I'm having problems signing in on my personal
Oh,
laptop.
your hair is beautiful.
Thank you. It's COVID here, honey. Saving money.
I know. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, dang, I don't know what's going on with my laptops. I didn't go downtown this morning because I'm like, well, I can get on my computer, but it's acting a straight up fool too. So
Oh, no.
I don't know what's going on here. Let's try it again.
Yeah, I'll let you introduce yourself. I'll just talk a little bit about who On the Rise is and what we do,
Sure.
and then turn it over to you.
So I was thinking that I'll just use the website and kind of go through because a lot of the information is on there.
Mm-hmm. On your site?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to have you pull that up.
Okay. You're gonna send it to, pull your website up?
Yeah, just in case.
Okay, no worries. Let's see. What's the URL?
It's bankon.atlantagA.gov.
bankon.atlantagA.gov. You see it? Oh, no, I gotta share it. Hold on.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Let me get back over here. Oh, wow. Well, it's not letting me. Oh, here it is, share screen. Bank on.
No, it's in like one corner of my screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Not letting me sign in online. Let me try now. Let's see.
Can you see it now?
Nope. Not at all.
Okay, hold on.
And I'm trying to sign in on my Urban Asset Builders PC. This is crazy.
It's okay. We're gonna get through it.
I'm just trying to figure out why my Zoom isn't working. It's connected.
It's not giving me my it's not giving me my prompts. Okay, let's see. Huh. Okay, stop sharing. There we go. Okay, now where is your document? There it is. Hey. Somebody's coming in my office. What's going on, Elijah?
Yeah, a sauce preference, like a sauce preference. You want like ranch?
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Thank you. Okay, so minimize it. Now share. You see it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see the full screen?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Just in case, because it's still not letting me. Do you see me on the other side trying to get into Zoom?
Trying to come in?
Yeah, from Urban Asset Builders.
Now that may be, yeah, it's not telling me somebody is trying to come in.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. So how you say, thank God for the telephone, right?
Mhm. Okay, somebody else is trying to come in.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna change this and put.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Hey, Miss Gibson,
Hey, how you doing?
doing good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to our Wednesday, August 4th Lunch and Learn. We're still waiting for others to join, so if you can hang tight for a couple of minutes, we usually try and start no later than about 10 after.
Hey,
In the meantime, I'm gonna mute myself and probably close my screen out because I got two monitors and my head will be going like the bobblehead doll. So, but we'll be right back, okay?
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And I can hear you guys if you need me, just yeah. Welcome, Miss Beverly, Miss Turner, Mr. Williams. We are trying to give folks a minute to join us. So just hold tight. We will get started around 10 after. Thank you so much for joining us. In the meantime, would you please mute yourself until we have other folks, until we get started. Thank you. All right, guys, on second thought, I think we should probably go ahead and get started. Giving everyone consideration, the ones that showed up on time. Anyone else, if someone else comes in later, we'll just work on getting them caught up to speed as to where we are and what we're doing. But again, for the respect of everybody's time, we'll go ahead and get started. So today we're here to talk about building a relationship with a local financial institution and some of the things that you might want to consider if you feel like you are underbanked or not banked at all. But before we go into our presentation today, I want to welcome everyone on the call. And thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule to join us. My name is Regina Katz. I've been recently married, just 2 years now, and I still haven't gotten used to saying my new last name. But I'm Regina Katz. I'm the program director for On the Rise Financial Center. And welcome again to today's Lunch and Learn. Our mission is to help people build financial well-being and wealth through coaching and individual counseling. Our coaches achieve this by working with our clients to improve their credit, build a budget, create a budget and savings plans. We also provide information to help make financial decisions such as buying a home, starting a business, or preparing for any financial goal you may deem necessary. We also offer financial education classes through partner relationships that are in our workforce development network. I won't go into that very much, but typically we offer our workshops with our partners who already have a group of people wanting to go through financial education together. So, but again, we provide those services in 2 different ways, one-on-one coaching and group education. So as far as the group education is concerned, today is one of those examples where individuals have come together and decided they want to hear a little bit more about financial education and opportunities. With that, we have a very, very dynamic speaker today that I'm going to allow her to pretty much introduce herself. But she's here to talk about how important it is to build a relationship with a local financial institution. I know there's a lot of online.
Yeah, I'm just using your sound. I'm listening to it from your computer as opposed to putting it on loud.
Olivia, will you mute yourself?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
That's okay. I was sitting here sniffling myself and was unmuted. I'm like, I'm sure they did not enjoy hearing that, but it's okay. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry, I was trying to manage the waiting room. So with that, I'm going to introduce to you someone from the Bank On Atlanta project. This is an initiative sponsored by the mayor of the city of Atlanta, created this project so that people will have a good idea of what is available out there as far as creating and building a relationship with a local bank. As I was about to say earlier, I know there's a whole lot of digital banking options out there, but our speaker today, and I often talk about how important it is, even during COVID, to be able to go in and talk to someone in person about your personal finances. Some of those online and digital banking agencies don't always offer consumer lending products. They're just doing more savings, checking, and maybe consumer lending products are of such. So, but when you have a relationship with a local financial institution, you somehow feel a little bit better about what's happening with an application, what's happening with the decision on whether or not you were approved or not approved for a loan. Where's my car loan, auto loan money going? Is it something a little bit more comforting for me if I'm able to know and have a relationship with a local entity for those bank products. With that, I'm gonna introduce to you Venus Lockett. Venus is someone that I've known for quite some time who has a whole lot of experience in this industry, and you guys are gonna be in for a big treat. I'll let her tell her own story. With that, I give you Venus Lockett.
Thank you so much, Regina. And it's always been a pleasure to work with you. Like you said, we've been working together for many years now, and you know, come a long way. Thank you all for joining us today. And as she mentioned, this is about building banking relationships. So my name is Venus R. Lockett. There's another Venus Lockett out there, believe it or not, but I am me and she is she. And I am currently with the City of Atlanta as the program manager for the Bank on Atlanta program. I am housed in the Mayor's Office of Innovation and Performance on the Special Projects team under the leadership of the Honorable Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Bank On. So what is Bank On? And I apologize, I'm not able to show you my my presentation that I have. I'm having PC issues, but Regina has pulled up the website that has a lot of this information on it as well. But I'm just gonna, you know, walk through some strong talking points that that I want to bring up. So if you have access to a chat, can you just put in the chat, like, you know, if you have a bank account with a traditional bank, you know, like a local bank, like a Wells Fargo, a Bank of America, a Chase, you know, or if you're, you know, put in the name of your bank. Let's do it like that, that you're currently banking with. So Bank On, we're a national movement, and the goal is to ensure that everyone has access to a safe and affordable bank or credit union account. Right now, there are over 100 certified accounts nationally, and over 28,000 branches have the Bank On certified account. And what makes these accounts stand apart is that they're safe, no overdraft, or non-sufficient funds fees, or dormancy fees. These accounts are federally insured by, you know, the FDIC and the NCUA, I think it is, and they're affordable. The monthly fees are $5 or less, okay, which is so much lower than paying, you know, a fee to cash your check at a check cashing, you know, place. So $5 or less. And sometimes those fees are waived if you have a direct deposit going into the account. There's a low minimum opening deposit of $25 or less. But the main thing for these accounts is that you cannot overdraft in these accounts. And I know that's a big worry for a lot of people. They are functional. You can pay, you know, your bills, make your deposit and withdrawals online, transfer money, you know, the same, how you say, desirable benefits and features of an account you can get through these, you know, Bank On accounts. We're a national movement, and like I said, we have over 100 certified accounts throughout the U.S. And so some of those standout features that I told you about, you know, are really, really helpful in today's market, even during COVID, especially during COVID. Regina, if you could go back up to the main page. I have some features on the front page, on the home page. Click on the Bank On logo. It'll take you to the home. You know, there's a few features that I put up there. I'm still adding some things to this website. Scroll down a little bit. But stop right there. So those are some of the stats of, you know, what it looks like for the unbanked community. We've gotten a little bit better, especially during COVID, because a lot of people were, you know, forced to, you know, get account access for the sake of receiving their COVID, you know, payments and, you know, other payments, but we still have a ways to go. So still we remain at about, you know, 5% of Atlanta residents that are unbanked, right? And I would still argue, even though they're not using this word anymore, underbanked, I would still say we still have, you know, 8% or more that are underbanked. And what I mean by that is, if, you know, people are still using the alternative financial services like check cashers and title lenders, payday loans are illegal in Georgia, but I think you still have access through like internet. But, you know, I consider those underbanked because you're, you know, you work hard for your money, you shouldn't have to pay high fees to have access to it. You know, compared to 5% of US households are still, you know, unbanked. Approximately 12 million adults are unbanked or without a checking or savings account. And we know why, because there's different challenges. A lot of people don't trust banks. They feel like they have more privacy in banks. They feel like, you know, there are too many fees, unknown fees, where these bank on accounts are really, how you say, safe and measurable. You know what's happening with them. You can only spend what you have in there, and you don't have to worry about, you know, your money being taken. And just a little known fact, did you know that a person can spend over $40,000 in his or her lifetime in check cashing fees, you know, or, you know, due to the cost of costly alternative financial services for just their routine financial transactions, $40,000. Right. So, you know, CFE Fund has this this program out here. It's national. And how you say, masses of people are in these accounts and becoming part of the financial mainstream. You can scroll down just a little bit, Regina. So I've added a few resources up here. For those who were expecting the child tax credit, it's really important, you know, to be able to have a mainstream bank account to receive those child tax credit payments faster versus getting, your payments via check. And also, if you're getting them on a pay card, that's fine, but how is a pay card really helping you achieve your goals for asset building, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The Bank On Flyer is there that lists all the financial institutions that are participating. Atlanta currently has 11, and I'll tell you who those are in a few minutes. We've got both banks and credit unions, and a lot of them you are familiar with. There's also on the resources tab, top reasons to open a bank account if you don't have one, right? And click on the resources button for me, Regina. And I'm sorry to have you do this instead of myself. But there's also a checklist on how to identify a financial institution, to bank with, right? I have that there as well. And then, Bank On accounts have the account standards, and these were developed to meet people where they are. They looked at some of the challenges. You can scroll down a little bit. They looked at some of the challenges that, people were experiencing and why they were out of mainstream banking. And then, so they developed these accounts and are still, improving them over time to meet people where they are and some of the desired features that, people are looking for in a bank account. So I would, ask you all to visit this account, our website on a regular basis to be able to get information, updated information on, what's going on. So for Bank On Atlanta, we officially launched this project in February of 2019, right before COVID hit. And we did that via a press conference with Mayor Bobby. And then we had Bank On Atlanta Day to introduce the financial institutions to the community. But we also have a coalition with over 65 partners that offer an array of services, from financial coaching and counseling, such as On the Rise, the information that, and services that they have. People who, organizations who assist you with home ownership, entrepreneurship, you name it, we probably have it in the coalition. And this makes us even stronger to help people meet their asset building goals. And what I mean by asset building, if you're planning to, buy a home, which, is considered an asset by a lot of people, buying a car, we have On the Road Lending who helps you with, buying a car. Entrepreneurship, there are many organizations around that are, supporting entrepreneurship. And so many other services that are available through the coalition and through, the partnerships. So I appreciate On the Rise being a partner to Bank On, and us being a partner to them. We're stronger when we work together and collaborate. So let's get back to the main reason why we're talking about this today. So let's go back to your asset building goals. If you have goals of buying a home, right, or entrepreneurship, having a bank account is very critical to be able to, prove your income and your transactions Let me give you an example. So when COVID hit and the PPP loans came out, a lot of those financial institutions that were giving people access to those loans, they were only servicing their own customers, right? So if you weren't already a customer of the bank, you kind of got pushed out or pushed, to the end of the line. So that's a great example of why building a banking relationship is really important to have. If you have a bank, you have a banker. It is about building relationships. Those customer service people at those financial institutions are your advocates, within that financial institution. And we all know a lot of times it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So if you've built a relationship with a bank and you're having issues, it's really good to be able to walk into a local branch and get those issues taken care of versus an online bank. And I'm not going to name any names, where you're trying to call into a customer service line and you're getting 3 different people trying to assist you with the same problem, but you're getting, 3 different answers, right? And it's really, really difficult to manage from afar. So that's why we believe that traditional banking relationships are really critical, really important, and really matter, especially, like I said, when it comes to asset building. With your traditional banks, you have access to so many services, your ATM networks, your others complementary services, like you might be investing, or you can talk to people on the inside about any of your other financial needs, and they're right there, right there at your service. So a basic transaction account is the important first step in establishing a mainstream banking relationship. You can deposit your earnings securely. You can access, credit and save for the future. So unbanked and underbanked individuals lose the cost savings and the stabilizing benefits such an account provides, such as the financial stability, the asset building, right, and the public safety. There's a public safety issue if you're carrying cash or storing cash in your home because you could run the risk of being robbed. So, I would just implore you guys, if you don't have a bank account, or if you know people who don't have a bank account, to really push them towards becoming the part of the financial mainstream by getting a traditional bank account. So we've already gone over the account standards. And as I mentioned, Atlanta has 11 accounts. Regina, if you could go to the accounts page. So I'm just going to run through the list of accounts that we have. 5 of them can be opened up online. They have the account opening process go down a little bit, and you can click on the link and open those accounts online. And as you can see, the ones that have the live links there are the ones that can be opened online. So the financial institutions that we currently have are, let's start with the credit unions. We have First Choice Credit Union. We have with their Freedom Checking account. We have Credit Union of Atlanta with their Easy Access account. We have Georgia's own credit union with their Bank On account. And then we have, as far as the financial institutions, we have, hold on, because we're updating these accounts kind of almost weekly. We have Bank of America with their Advantage Safe Balance Banking. We have Cadence Bank with their checking. We have Chase Bank with their secure banking. We have Iberia Bank with their Ability Banking. We have BB&T, now Truist, with their money account. We have Wells Fargo Easy Pay account. I think they've recently changed their name. We also have PNC as one of the banks, and I feel like I'm leaving somebody out, but all the banks are listed there, and the ones with the live links, the financial institution accounts can be opened online. Now, the only reason you may not be able to open an account online is for instances of fraud. And And this is, also why it's really important to be able to establish those banking relationships, because sometimes, the algorithms, when you're opening up an account online, will kick you out based on something small. Whereas if you can walk into a local branch and speak with someone and explain the situation, they may allow you to, to open an account. And then this is where I look at those online banks as an alternative, like a last resort to having, an account. But when I say fraud, it doesn't necessarily mean that you were like, printing money or, things like that. That's included for sure. But another instance of fraud, as far as the banks are concerned, is if you receive like a lottery check in the mail and you haven't played the lottery, but you got this real big check and you run to the bank and cash it, right? And so, they look at it as fraud, and that you're a participant because, you should have known better than to, cash a check that you didn't, play the lottery for. So just be, I just want people to be very careful about the excitement of, how you say, windfalls when they're not necessarily legit and will really, really hurt you, now and going forward. So that's just one example, of fraud. So I think I covered everything for the, the accounts. Everything is on the website, but, if you've got questions, I'd like to answer those now. But just, just keep in mind the differences between your traditional banks, which have an array of services that are really, at your, for your convenience. You can go in and talk to people, versus the digital or online banks that don't have their own charters, that only basically offer you the opportunity to open up an account, but don't really offer you the in-depth customer service or any of those services that you might need as far as lending, as far as any kind of financial education or coaching. I think, in a lot of instances, those online banks really skate over the issues that people need to address, right? So if you can go and open up an account with no credit check, then it doesn't, push you towards fixing any problems that you have that are going to come up if you're looking at buying a home or starting a business or, buying a car or getting loans for anything else. We want you to be ready so you don't have to get ready. And, going through a, credit check or, a check with check systems or whatever really is an opportunity to fix any issues that you already have going on and get them out the way so that they don't come up at the last minute when you're really trying to, move forward with some of your asset building goals. So I'll just kind of stop there and see if there are any questions or any comments, and we can just kind of go from there.
Thank you, Venus. Great presentation. You guys would join me in giving Miss Venus a big hand clap, thumbs up. You did a great job. Thank you so much. Before I open up for questions, should I close your presentation? Will we need that again?
No, they can go to the website address, and I apologize, like I said, I can't show you my presentation, but the website address is bankon.atlanta.ga.gov. All the information is there. We'll ask you to continue to visit the site. I will start to update the events calendar with different activities that we will be having and that our partners will be having. The IRS sends a wealth of information over about like child tax credits and EITC, the earned income tax credit, and VITA sites, and our partners have a wealth of events that they always share with us. So to stay updated on what's going on in the community, we're one venue that you can get that information from. So yeah, you can close it down, Regina.
Okay. All right. So again, thank you guys for joining us, and we're going to open the floor for questions. But I wanted to reiterate a couple of things that Venus talked about as far as features for the Bank On accounts. One of the things I want you guys to make sure, you all are hearing, any financial institution that is part of the Bank On coalition or initiative. These banks and credit unions have agreed to offer services to anyone who wants to join or become a customer of their financial institution. They have agreed to only offer or ask for certain fees. The no fees are very limited fees for services. So that's kind of like a regulated network, if you will. Bank On does a real good job of assessing these financial institutions to ensure that they are prepared, ready, and willing to service our community, to service the clients that we service. So we want to make sure that this is an opportunity rather to level the playing field. So if you go to Wells Fargo, you go to First Choice Credit Union, you go to any of those partners in the net, any of the financial institutions in that network. Miss Salters, will you mute yourself?
30,
Hold on, guys. Let me mute her. I don't. She here.
46 kids.
Okay. If you go to any of those financial institutions, you're going to be treated fairly equally and pretty much the same. That is the benefit of using one of the Bank On partners, because they have agreed. They have had meetings with Bank On Atlanta, and they have agreed that they're going to provide services at a very minimal or no cost to clients that we refer to them. So that's a huge advantage for me. Like I said, it's kind of like a regulated network that has been created by the City of Atlanta and the Bank On initiative. The other thing is, she mentioned check systems. I don't know if you, anybody on the call, we got another one we need to, hold on. We have, if you're in check systems or ever been in check system, that's where most banks or financial institutions will not give you a checking account. Some will give you a savings account, but if you're in check system, that means you owe a creditor money and they have reported you to the credit bureau and to the check system. Well, in that instance, On the Rise is here to help you assess what those issues are, assess your budget and affordability of how you can maybe cure that debt on a payment plan, or even go ahead and pay it in full. Once that debt is cured and you are no longer in check systems, then you should be able to not only open a savings account, but a checking account or any other consumer account you deem necessary. Again, that's a real good reason why you would want to come in for one-on-one coaching. We're going to help you weed through and sift through all of those challenges, and then hand you back over to the bank or credit union of your choice. So I just like it that these banks and credit unions have agreed to provide a level playing field for folks to, not be gouged and taken advantage of. I mean, back in the day, and in some instances, especially with the online banking systems, the fees are ridiculous. And sometimes I've known clients who had maybe a small amount of money on deposit, but the fees sucked up all of their monies, and they never even got a chance to use the money that they had on deposit. We don't want to have that happen to you. So this is an opportunity for you guys to work with a trusted financial institution and get coached on how to navigate those accounts. I'll stop right there and entertain any questions. If you would use the reaction icon, and there's an option on there for you to raise your hand. If you look at my Hollywood Square, you'll see my hand is raised. So if you would use the raise hand option, if you have any questions, or you can put it in the chat. And once your question has been answered or entertained, you just click on lower my hand. So the floor is open, or you can just start. I'm sorry.
I just have a comment. Yeah. Just like Regina mentioned, each one of these financial institutions goes through a rigorous certification process to meet all of the, the standout features. The other ones are optional, but there's main ones that they have to meet to have their account certified. And I will also say that a lot of your online banks are not certified because they don't have their own banking charter. They're renting a charter from a financial institution. So you won't see like a couple of the online banks as part of the Bank On movement, even though they might have some of the same features. The other thing that I wanted to say is if you're going to open up a Bank On account and you go into a financial institution, it would be good to know the name of the account that you're focused on, because there's a lot of turnover within the financial institutions. And so new people might not be familiar with Bank On. So if you go in and you let them know what account you're looking for, that makes it so much easier, and the process, goes so much smoother than them trying to figure out which one is a Bank On. So that's why we have the names of the accounts listed under the financial institution. And the flyer, if you can, print that or pull that up on your phone, will be very helpful, when you go to open up an account, if you go in person.
Thank you, Venus. Floor is open for questions. This is the time, if you heard about Bank On and you're familiar with On the Rise and you're interested in moving forward, this is a time for your questions to get answered so that you feel very confident when you go in to open these accounts. Mr. Fuller, you're next at bat.
Hi, thank you. I joined a little late, so was the material that was presented, was that shared somewhere?
No, what I'll do is I'll send the presentation to Regina along with a couple of links of interest for you guys. But if you go to the website, everything that I talked about is pretty much there. I've just, got some talking points, but I'll send that to Regina to share with you guys.
Okay, and I joined late, sorry about that. And the website is bankon.com or what?
It's bankon.atlantaga.gov.
Okay, thank
Venus,
you.
if you would put it in the chat.
Yes, a little bit. Okay, let me do it by phone. I'll probably have to take myself off.
Tell me what it is again, and I'll put it in the chat for you.
Sure. Sorry, Regina. It's bankon.atlantaga.gov.
You told me that earlier. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go, Mr. Fuller. And anyone else, if you want to go ahead and save this this URL, and you can go and read all about their products and services at a later time. Did you have another question, Mr. Fuller?
No, I did not. Sorry, let me lower my hand.
No worries.
So I really want to reiterate, if some of you are, looking towards entrepreneurship, or someone that's looking towards entrepreneurship. So let me just give you like my little story and why I'm in this space, right? So I was baking and, baking from home, and had a cash business. And I got a great opportunity from like the Bernie Marcus Foundation. I had done a grand opening for SunTrust because one of my friends worked there, and they were rebranding to their little Starburst brand or whatever. And so one of her friends was the manager of a bank, and she asked me to cater it for them. Well, they were over near like the Blank Foundation and the Bernie Marcus Foundation. And when they came in, they loved like my presentation, the baked goods that I had, and they asked me about catering some of their events. Well, I was working from home and I had to say no, right? Because I didn't want to mess it up, because I knew I could only do so much from my house. The other thing is, when I looked at myself, I had nothing to fall back on. I had no savings. I didn't even have a bank account then, because I was trying to stay out of the system. And so really I hurt myself, right? But I had to take a look at self. And so, no credit, any of that kind of stuff. So I just want to say that if you are looking towards entrepreneurship, or if you even have a business, you need to have your personal account separate from your business account. And if you're doing cash on the table and you want to grow that business, please get an account. We have financial institutions in our group that focus on, small businesses, and have great accounts that, no monthly fees and things like that. But the main thing is get your personal account, because that undergirds your business account, and it establishes a record. It goes back to, like I said, being ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Separate them out, even if you have to have two personal accounts to run your business through or whatever, you have to separate those out and set yourself up for success if you want to move forward with, you know, growing your business. You're
Thank you,
muted.
Venus.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else? So I have put on the Rise's URL also in the chat for anyone who's interested in coming in for financial coaching, one-on-one coaching. We are here to help you. And by the way, our services are free. We're here to help you navigate through all of this. And as Venus mentioned, we also have small business, have relationships with small business development agencies who will assist you in getting registered, to get trained on some of those things that you need to be aware of when you're starting your own business. I don't mind saying on this call today, a lot of times Black-owned businesses fail because they don't have proper structure. And sometimes the business owner have not taken an account for what it takes to maintain their own business. They have the skill, they have the know-how, but you also have to keep in mind that there's a certain corporate structure that comes along with having a successful business. Number one, you're gonna have to pay taxes. What does that mean? What does it look like? Do I need an accountant? Do I need, you know, to register my business with the Secretary of State? Do I need to, and that answer is definitely you do. Do I need a license to run my business? So those are the things that you will learn in small business development training classes. So we don't want to have you guys go at this on your own. Venus is a great baker, but she just admitted and shared with you all her limitation in knowing how to, at that time, structure her business. And a lot of Black-owned and any other community ethnicity businesses fail because of that. Sometimes folks go on for years running their own business, and when they do file taxes for those businesses, you hear a lot of times folks say, well, my business took a loss, so I didn't make any money, so that's going to lower my tax liability. Well, let me tell you what the net effect of that is. If that is your only source of income and your tax liability is low, then when you go to borrow money for business expansion or to buy a vehicle, let's use Venus' situation as an example. If she was baking and had a mobile service and needed to get a van for her deliveries, and now she wanted to go to a bank or credit union and take out a loan to purchase a vehicle to do that, well, again, she reported that her business suffered a loss. So she can't demonstrate the ability to repay that loan because she didn't report all the earnings for that business for the whole year. So on the streets, you'll hear people say to you that, oh, I don't have to pay a whole lot of taxes because my business suffered a loss. But on the flip side of that, you're kind of putting yourself in a very awkward, precarious, and unfortunate situation, because now you can't prove that you have the solvency to make payments on a loan that you just applied for, and that would be the net effect of you being denied for that loan. You have a solvent business, although you may have to pay taxes, but when the thing you will learn in those training classes, you want to make your business successful and in every way. So you want to be able to report the true earnings of your business for future endeavors. So, and we can make those referrals to you, to some of our network partners, but and some of our lunch and learns will be on some of those topics. And before we leave today, I want to ask that you will put in the chat some of the topics that you think you might want to hear about, and we will get industry professionals to come in and talk to you about. I know talk about those things. One of the hot buttons on the streets right now is Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies and stuff. And although we on the Rise is not advocating for any of those investment strategies, you hear about Robinhood and all of that. We're gonna have presenters, industry professionals come on and talk to you about that. On the Rise does a whole lot of things, but we are not aiming to be everything to everybody, but we do want to bring the information to bear for you all to make your own decisions about your financial goals and strategies. So I don't see that anyone has put anything in the chat for me on topics you want to hear in future Lunch and Learn. So please, guys, help us out to make sure we're bringing to bear subjects that you want to hear about. I'll pause for a minute for any input, questions, comments, feedback.
Yeah, as far as, the business part of me, I actually got out of the banking mainstream years ago because I had a issue with Capital One, right? And when I lost my job, stopped paying on it or whatever. And so they attacked my accounts and spread my credit card balance over my savings and my checking. So when I go in to deposit my money to pay my rent, my accounts are in the red, right? So I was kind of forced out of the mainstream. So that meant going and paying money for money orders and that kind of stuff, right? But then when something comes down where you really need access to get that money, in a real timely manner, you don't have access to an account. So, that's why I was out of the mainstream. And then when I was doing my baking, I wasn't even recording. I was making money. I would roll up into Salon Suites and sell about $300 worth of sliced cake. You know what I mean? But I hadn't recorded it anywhere for anybody to know that I had a, potentially successful business. So it's really about, trying to track what your earnings are, and showing your success, to be able to get to that next level of, where you're trying to go.
Thank you, Venus. Thank you so much for your transparency. Mr. Fuller, I do see you've made some very, very good recommendations. The paying down debt, that's one we definitely can have a workshop on because there is a strategy on how you do that, just as we've talked about the small business startups. So we really want to equip you guys with all of the education material options that we possibly can. The Rise is basically a financial resource hub where you can be able to come in and sit down and talk to someone and help map out your strategies and directions on how you want to be successful. And you definitely have to get your personal finances in order to be successful in a business. So we're here to assist you with that. And again, we'll bring on presenters who can talk a whole lot more details about these different topics. One of the ones I know a lot of folks want to hear about also is student loan debt. There's some new rules out there about how you are being considered as far as your debt ratio and payment for those student loan debts. So we're going to bring some presenters on that you guys will be excited to hear from. And if I'll put our email address in the chat as well. If you think of some topics that you want to hear about after this call today, please shoot us an email and we'll see if we can arrange for that to happen as well. Any other questions, comments?
I did have another comment. And it was based, like, I follow you guys because I get your emails, and I just so happened stumbled across this session today, but it didn't even have a topic in it. So I almost didn't sign up for it because it's like, what are they going to be talking about? So I was like, hey, I had my lunch hour free. Let me sign up and see what they're going to be talking about. So just a suggestion, if you have a topic, it just said Lunch and Learn. So that may, help with participation and get more people in. So just a note.
Thank you for that, Mr. Fuller. Yes, that's something we definitely are working towards. So this is probably only our third Lunch and Learn, if I be real honest. So we are in the development stages and trying to perfect how we do this. So thank you. Point well taken. point well made and point taken.
So I had a question.
Mhm.
First of all, thank you, Venus, for sharing with us today. Of course, my phone would be ringing as soon as grief. As soon as I mute myself.
As soon as you unmute yourself, you've been on mute all this time, and then all of a sudden, that was a test. That was just a test.
So can you talk a little bit about a lot of our clients who are looking to get connected to the banking system, they turn to.
Frank, let me interrupt you for those who don't know, but you said a lot of our clients. Would you introduce yourself so they'll know who you are and why you're referring to our client?
Oh, I'm so sorry. So my name is Frank Williams. I'm one of the coaches here at On the Rise. So a number of our clients will begin their banking journey with companies like Chime. And then what we're finding is that a lot of them will decide that they're satisfied with Chime. In fact, I was talking to a client just yesterday. One of the things that Chime offers is the opportunity to get paid on Wednesday instead of Friday. And so that's a big incentive for a lot of our clients to sign on. Could you speak to why it might be a good idea to transition to a partner of ours like Delta Community or some of the other banks that you recommend clients to?
Sure. So I signed up for Chime last year just to test it myself, right? And what I was more interested in, because I was on a credibility journey, was the Credit Builder account. Now, yeah, Chime, it varies. Sometimes you'll get that money on Wednesday, sometimes you'll get it on Thursday. I understand that. And then if I'm correct, I can't tell you which financial institutions allow access to that, but that is one of the features. But at the same time, you have Chime, who has had a multitude of issues. I just sent Regina a link to a video where a lady here, right in here in Georgia, transferred $14,000 over to Chime, right? Something happened and they tied her money up for 14 months and would not give it to her, right? And I'll send the link so you can see it yourself. But if you Google Chime, they've had a lot of issues of shutting down people's accounts and not giving money back. The other thing is, I think people need to decide what it is they want to do. Are they going to be looking at buying a home? Are they going to be looking at buying a car or starting a business? You know what I mean? And so you want to be at an institution who can further help you. Let me give you an example, right? When I say building a banking relationship and you have an advocate on the inside of that bank, Regina is a perfect example of that, because people didn't know all this time I had been volunteering before I got with the city on the project. And I really didn't have income. And I started an internship with First Choice under Regina. But I was running back and forth every month to go take care of my father. I would spend $500 to $700 every time I rented a car. When I first put in the application at First Choice, it was turned down. My advocate on the inside of First Choice, where I can went in there and sat down and talk with them and explain and showed them my receipt. Regina advocated for me. I got the car. Right. So it's important to build those relationships for your own personal needs, whether it's goal setting or an emergency that might come up. If you got that relationship, you can walk in there and maybe talk to them. And like I said, it ain't about what you know. A lot of times it's about who you know. So I would attach it to their goals, let them know that may not necessarily be the right route for them to go. And then if they're planning on doing any of those asset building tracks like home ownership or whatever, look at what might be getting in the way that you're not addressing because you got that Chime account or another online bank account.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Venus. So what Venus is talking about, and she made it sound real good. Thank you, Venus. I'll send that check. I'll Zelle it to you. So, but no, what she's talking about is relationship building. It's not that Regina cats have that kind of power, but what also was made possible in Venus's case was that she was able to show some additional information that helped make that decision. I think the loan officer pulled some of her bank statements and she could prove and show where she had making certain transactions. She had certain deposits going into her account. Guess what? You can't do that with a digital or online bank. With a credit union and the Bank On Partners as an example, definitely with the credit union, if you got denied a loan and you want what they call it, an appeal or second opinion, you can ask for that. And I tell you, when I was working at that credit union, that was one reason that I now eat, sleep, and drink credit unions. At the time, I was working in one department, and this member, they call them members at a credit union, for those of you who don't know, and customers at a bank. But a member actually wanted to what do you call it? Submit a, what do you call it? Not a complaint, but oh my God, I can't remember the terminology, but she wanted a second consideration. And she asked to meet with the president and CEO of that credit union. And I looked at the lady, I'm like, you're not gonna come in here. And I went and talked to the CEO and president, and she said, yeah, schedule an appointment for her to come and see. I was floored, because I know I can't go to most banks and say, let me talk to, hell, I'd do good if I could talk to the branch manager, let alone the CEO and the president. So again, that's the topic for today. Mr. Fuller, I think we sent it out a little bit late, but that's exactly, thank you so much for taking us back there. Building relationships with local financial institutions. It is so key, because Vena says it all the time, is who you know, but I always counter her and say it's also about who you know and who knows you.
Right.
See, I can pick up the phone and say, hey, Mr. Fuller, this is Regina Katz. You're gonna now know me because we had this call today. You know, so it's not, I know you because, you know, I see your name in this chat, but it's important for that to be a two-way relationship.
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay.
absolutely right. Yeah.
So thank you, guys. I think we're coming to the close of our session today. We really made it through today to a solid hour. Sometimes we go way over and sometimes they call in a little early, but I am so grateful that you all took your time out today to join us, and we will take in consideration some of the topics that have been suggested today. I put in the chat where you can send any other comments, feedback that you have about our Lunch and Learns, and we look forward to seeing you again on next Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week.
Take care. Thank you for joining.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.